No resolution, no redemption. This is an idea I always keep close. That if I don't do something about it, no one ever will. Film, television, and books give us almost the expectation that these problems within us and around us will be resolved, that things will work out. And I think about all the people I've seen die in fucked up circumstances. Circumstances that many of them didn't deserve. It just shouldn't have been. It's just unfair. But life goes on. And now there's so many of them. And as I get older and I look at my own life and the things that I have not been able to confront, well, I suppose I need to do something about that. But these are things that it is, in my eyes, unnatural. Things dealing with feelings and emotions. The unnatural, not unnatural feel. I mean, all feelings in my eyes are unnatural. I'm told the only feelings I really have are anger and fear, which I'd say that's about fair. I don't allow myself any other feelings because I just don't know how to. Fear and anger tend to dominate my life. And even right now, anger is deeply held in check because the police have expressed a desire to see me incarcerated for the rest of my existence. Um, so I am very cautious about anything I do because I know there are cops waiting and in some cases watching. So I am always very careful. But I've lost even anger now. And what does that leave? Fear? What kind of life is that? But if I don't do something about it, no one's going to come along and help me fix it. That just isn't in the cards. It isn't real. And I have a quote that I wrote down because it was too long for me to memorize. And I think it's really cool because it pertains to the issue I'm talking about here. I don't have contacts in, so I have to read up close. Men die nightly in their beds, wringing the hands of ghostly confessors and looking them piteously in the eyes, die with despair of heart and convulsion of throat, on account of the hideousness of mysteries which will not suffer themselves to be revealed. Now and then, alas, the conscience of a man takes up a burden so heavy in horror that it can be thrown down only into the grave. That's some cold shit. That's from Edgar Allan Poe's The Man of the Crowd. That's fucking harsh. But it's true, the book fell down, unfortunately. See, life just doesn't work out sometimes. But the idea of no redemption, no resolution, it's something that I always like to put pressure on myself with to an extent. Because otherwise, I will just continue to avoid issues. And the only one that suffers for that is me. It's something to keep in mind. I mean, most people aren't as, how shall I say, damaged psychologically as I am. Uh, but I question if people, underneath the surface, it seems most people are miserable. Like, once you get beyond the way they choose to project themselves into the world, when I start asking questions about how they really feel and what's going on inside them, it's almost always dysfunction and distrust and a general upsettedness, like they are discontent and unhappy. And often that is what drives people's actions, in my understanding of the world. I mean, maybe there is areas where there are emotionally healthy people that, do things out of positive reasons, but I have never been exposed to these people. And I draw a blank on it. Most of what compels people into action is terrible things. It is the worst moments of their lives. Doctors often tell stories of a relative that died of a disease when they were very young and they couldn't do anything about it. And that loss and powerlessness compels them to do as they get older. You see this a lot with people, especially people that attempt to do big things. So, you know, the issues I have in myself, especially with dealing with emotion, have to be dealt with. And so, I believe I am going to take up writing again, especially because there are no original stories anymore. I read modern fiction and it's just garbage, and it's recycled garbage on top of it. It's like people have nothing original to say. And that has never been a charge levied at me. I am out of sync with the world, but at least out of sync with the modern America. But there has to be a way to capitalize on that outside of the world of marketing, which is the only field I ever found success in. And it's just so easy to fuck with people's heads. It felt wrong to me because it came so naturally to me that marketing and public relations seemed wrong, because it seems like you can, or it seems like I can just fuck with people's minds so easily and predict what their actions will be based upon the information I give them. It's startling, but I have to start looking at things in a different way. Otherwise, there will be no resolution. There will be no redemption, and my future lies in that Edgar Allan Poe quote. And I think about that a lot. Wringing the hands of ghostly confessors. If you've ever seen, especially an older person, die, like the moment, often it looks like they're looking at someone, like they're talking to someone almost. And usually it's just the suddenness of death taking hold, but I think about that. If I don't do something, it will never be resolved. There is no resolution, there's no redemption unless I make it so. And this is true of everyone, obviously, not just me, and I suppose that's the point in me explaining it. Take it for what it's worth, I guess.